Listeners be advised. The Soliloquy podcast discuss matters related to the human experience and many that are sexual in nature. Due to this, some conversations may surround triggering topics such as sexual violence, self-harm, abuse, and much more. Please be advised, a list of crisis and psychological resources will be available in the show notes of this episode. With that said, let's get started with the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention please as we go through the following safety instructions.
In the event that there is a loss of cabin pressure, oxygen mask will drop from the overhead. Place the mask over your nose and mouth. Breathe normally as oxygen is flowing even if the mask is not inflated. Be sure to adjust your own mask before helping others.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Soliloquy podcast, where we step out and speak on sexuality. This is your favorite host, Vernon T. Scott, also known as Slaytor Jackson, and for you freaky motherfuckers out there, Sebastian Adams. On today's episode, we are talking about differences in ages, like dating-wise, just age ranges in general. So with me, I have Savon. How are you doing today?
I am doing so well. It's always a joy. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're looking beautiful, as always.
God, stop it. It's because I'm Black. But...
It is because you're Black, because Black is beautiful. Oh my God.
Exactly. Talk about it.
Look, don't get me started. Look, I just want to say that, next year, I'm going to have to invite you to this whenever we do this. A friend of mine and we're actually doing an event here that is going to be dealing with relationships.
Sex party?
It's not the sex party. It's not the sex party, but
right,
I will let you know how that turns out. If that does,
like,
if it becomes a thing, I'll make sure everybody who's invited likes. There's going to be no objectification, so I will be reaching out for the whites for you.
Leave me alone. I am more than a white man's whore, please.
It's okay. We love it for you.
But do they, Vernon? Do they really? Because some don't.
Some don't, for real.
But Vernon, some people will like so just to be clear, I have slept with most races, including Black. And sometimes if I tell someone Black, you're just not like my type right now, and it's never because they're Black, it's because they're rude. And it's not because they're Black, it's because they're rude. And so this one time, this guy with zero provocation was like, bet you're one of them cracker lovers. I was like, whoa, you're right, but that is a crazy assumption. This is wild right now. Read me, damn. But
I'm done. But I get that. Like, there was this one dude I matched on one of these damn apps, and there was like, oh, I'm in the area. I want to pull up on you, hook up, and all this other stuff. And then they were like, this is one of those scamming people at that. It's like, but I'm going to need some gas money to make sure I get to you. Like, can you send $10? I laughed, but
immediately blocked.
I was
immediately blocked.
I literally was like, oh, well, that's great that you're in the area, but I'm not interested at all. We don't have to meet up, anything like that. It's like, oh no, but I really want to come see you. And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not your type. And he was like, well, what do you mean you're not my type? I matched with you because you fit my Like, I was like, no, I'm not saying that you don't find me attractive or anything, but clearly your type is somebody who's desperate and who's willing to pay you this $10, who's going
And
to
that is not me.
what? That's not me. Like, you either want somebody that's desperate, somebody who has low self-esteem, someone who does not know their worth, someone
Mm,
who's stuck on stupid, or someone who is just who likes to
that,
give like pay for the sex.
yeah,
Neither one of those is me. Cause look, you fucking around with me, you come across a damn star. A
right.
motherfucker got credentials out here when it comes to sex, and you think I'm going to pay what? Hell
Period.
no, pay me. The fuck you mean? That's all I'm saying.
Hey, me.
Like,
Ain't
you over
nobody
here asking
coming
for
to see
$10 to
you,
get to come see me?
Otis. Right.
Child, what profession do you know of that's paying people to come visit it? I'm providing a service for you. I
Nobody
would
I think
not.
of.
You have to pay Uber to come get you, fam.
Right.
And you think, oh God, ooh, my Lord, today.
Or a car. Try Jesus, not
Uh,
me. Cause
Amen.
I throw hands. Yeah, it's tough times. It's tough times.
That
So,
too.
so I don't remember if I talked about age gaps in one of the past things, or if it was like the first time we like met to discuss what we would discuss.
I think it was in our intake meeting to like
Perfect.
put all this together. So you're
Right.
good.
Okay.
So what are so this is more towards like the end of things, like the
Sure.
last thing to talk about, but we can bring it up to the front. What are your personal age ranges like?
For dating or for sex?
Both.
Okay, so for dating, so I'm currently 24, and I think for dating, I don't know if I could date someone 21. So right now, I'll say 22 to 30,
Mm.
maybe 32 if they're really hot.
And what about for sex?
For sex, I lean more towards like 21 to like 40.
Mm.
Um, that's not saying I haven't slept with older than that, but in my current phase of life, if you're above 40, I'm probably going to say no because I think it is a little bit weird that you want to sleep with me
Mm. I
when
can
I'm
see.
so much younger. Um, and there's been times I've almost slept with someone as young as like 19, which to me it just feels so creepy because because they're babies, and so I get close and I'm like, damn, never mind. You're just too young. I'm sorry.
I get that. I would say for me, my age range for dating is it's from 24 to 36 years old.
Right.
I'm 29, turned
Yeah.
30 in February, but like that's my age range for like people that like because I feel like within that group there's a lot that I can either learn from a person. There's
Hmm.
conversations, there's enough distance between our ages that there's some similarities as well as major differences that we can talk about, or even just how we perceive culture and our lived experiences. That way we can have conversations for a lifetime of
Mm.
all the things like what they experienced in life, and even during our dating process and whatnot, and even like it's just enough
Right.
that we can talk about within that time frame, like those age gaps in terms of like who I would be sexually intimate with. I lean towards 21 and up. Like there's
Fair.
no like necessary cap on it.
Mm.
Have I engaged with people younger than 20, like 21? I would say the minimum was someone that was not 18, 19.
Maybe, yeah.
And it's like usually that was either in the state of horniness or because
Yeah.
horniness is a drug,
It's a
or
drug.
it was somebody who's
It,
just been like
it'll
hitting
get
me
you,
up
gal.
on a regular basis. I'm just like, fam,
Okay.
what?
Fine. Fine. Oh my God.
Like for real. But okay. But like I do like sometimes, most definitely if it's someone that's like 20 and they look like an adult.
Yeah.
And versus the ones that are 20 that look like a baby. And I'm
Oh,
just
I
like, I
hate
just
those.
cannot. Even if
Like, I
like
just
there's a
can't.
25-year-old who lives in the area, and I'm just like, you look 16.
16.
And
Yes.
this is creepy to me.
It's very
Like
bad.
you're giving me I should be your teacher. And I know
Oh,
that you're not that person. I like I know for a fact that you're this age because one the degrees that this person has and
yeah.
everything. But it's still like, I
Like,
don't
it's too
know. It's
much.
just weird. It's just weird. It's like I love it for you because you have that youthful look, and it's just that that same youthful look is just something I'm
It
not.
just makes me feel weird.
It makes me, yeah, it
It
really does make
feels
me feel weird.
like it just feels predatory, and I think because of that, it's
Hmm.
made me feel weirder about older men wanting to sleep with me
Hmm.
because I'm not that young. But like, if you're 55, shouldn't you want to sleep with people like at least like 40?
Hmm.
And if you want to sleep with someone like in their 20s, that like it's probably a like pride thing for them.
Hmm.
But like, what am I getting out of this aside from fueling your ego?
Hmm.
But but also that's like very new for me
Hmm.
because I spent a very, very long time like exclusively not sleeping with people my own age, and I would like just sleep with people like double or more of my own age for
Hmm.
years.
And I think like that's one of the things that I've been, working on, at least for myself,
Right.
in terms of like most definitely when someone that is younger hits me up and whatnot and want to engage in sex,
Right.
is because I think about the societal view of things, right? And that's one of those things because of the narrative that's always being pushed. This person's trying to groom this
Mm,
other person, or they're trying to groom me if it's somebody older than me. And it's just like, but what is the intentions behind this person engaging with me? Is it
mm,
strictly that they want to either learn from me, because I'm always willing to give education, or are they just interested in, the sex because okay,
okay.
cool, that's
Right.
fine, we could hook up. But are they trying to date? Now when it comes to
Mm.
dating, most definitely when it comes to somebody that's younger, most like let's go with 21, there's still so much that this person can learn. I learned
Yeah,
that
that
within.
feels that just feels like they're a baby.
Like I learned that in my previous relationship, because my ex is 6 years younger than me,
Okay.
and just having like even when we were dating, I was like,
Mhm.
live your life. I don't want to mold your life into anything
Mm,
that I desire for myself. I want you to live your life and be free and be happy,
that's
and
good.
that's just the type of person I am. Like I'm not going to say that, oh, I know better. I know how you need to live your life. And no, your life, you live
It
that the way you need to live it.
is
Make
your
your
life,
own
right?
fucking mistakes. Like in terms of this relationship, we can only converse about our relationship and how we integrate that in our own shared lived experiences. But outside of that, do you, boo. It's great. But
Mhm.
like at the same time, because I was younger too, this was like 3 years ago,
Oh,
2020-ish. Look, all that to now is still a blur, honestly. But but yeah, like even the mindset that I was in versus the mindset that he was in to where we are today. Like, we can have a conversation about our relationship at the time and realize, like, okay, this person, you did some wrongs, I did some wrongs, and here we are. And that's because of the growth that we both experienced during that time frame.
Right.
And I realized that you cannot expect that type of growth in people who are not closer to, like, well, at least from my experience,
Yeah.
like 24, 25, 26, 27, like within
Right.
these times, this age gap, you are truly more focusing on the self versus everything else that you're surrounding yourself with. The Holiloquy podcast focuses on the variability of sexual expression. When it comes to sexual expression, we often depend on pornography to illustrate how one must perform sexually. For those who have not learned this by now, the stuff you see in porn is not real. Pornography provides a singular perspective of sexual expression that is not often the reality we see during our own sexual encounters. The Holiloquy podcast is a conversation that takes you outside of the compressed box of what many know about sex. Some of the topics we discuss includes kinks, condom usage, status disclosure, and past sexual experiences. The Holiloquy podcast steps out on sexual norms and recognizes that the norm is not the only normal. Subscribe today and join the conversation. More focusing on the self versus everything else that you're surrounding yourself with. So, like, that's one of the things, like, just keeps me not even wanting to, like, if you hit me up like, oh, I would love to date you, blah 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 blah, blah,
Probably
and
not.
you're either like, if you 21 shit like that, I'm sorry, no, we can't date. If you like
We can't
50,
date, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, we cannot
We can't
date.
date.
We
We cannot date. I'm so sorry.
I'm here for you. We can have great conversations. We can hang out. We can even have
Right.
sex. But dating is not going to be an option for us. And it's
Right.
not that I don't see that there's love in this age group for you, because it might be. It's just not for me. It's just not me.
Right.
Like, it's I
Yeah.
don't,
It's complex. So there was this. Oh, so for me, I have like very strong feeling for me about dating in relationships and age gaps. Sex, sure, but like, for me, if one person is younger than 23, the other person should not be like above 25, because from like 18 to 22 to 23, you just learn so much and you change and you grow so much as a person that like in my opinion, and I don't want it to sound like I am in any way dragging you for like your past relationship, because I know like my stance is extreme, but like it's mine, is that like it's lame. Like, it's just lame person behavior, because like my best friend, she was 19 dating someone 23, and that's not a giant gap, right? It's also only 4 years, and if they were 24 and 28, sure, but I just feel like it's all about what life stage you should be in. And so for me, it's like, because at that time I was also 23. And I was like, I would never date this girl because she's one, a mess, and two, she is so 19 that like me living as someone 23, like we are super close friends, but like we wouldn't work dating because of that gap, and because we're in such different like life stages. And so for me, it's like the fact that you feel like you're in a similar life stage to my friend that's 4 years younger when we're the same age makes you fucking lame. You're a lame. And I told my friend for months, this nigga is lame. Especially because he because he moved in with her like immediately.
Wow.
And I was like, mama, miss ma'am, from someone 23, let me tell you right now, it is a giant fucking red flag that this grown-ass man immediately moved in with you when you're 19. That's a giant red flag. He's a scrub and he's trash. And I was right because he ended up cheating. And so like when you're right, but it's like, let's not get that far. Like, let's look at like, does my life phase line up with theirs? And if it does that make them lame?
I get that.
Because if that makes them lame, we shouldn't date. We absolutely shouldn't date. So like if I'm 24 and I've got the exact same mature. So like if I'm 24 and I've got the exact same maturity as someone 19, that is my problem, not theirs. That does not make them mature. It makes me lame.
I agree with you 100% because like there's a lot of people who really do, take advantage of others in that way, and I agree, they are definitely lame people.
Lame
like
hoes.
like even when it came to like me and my ex, that was one of those understandings, because I was like, even knowing that trauma matures a person and it can age a person beyond what their actual age is.
Yes.
And then, wisdom and everything like that. There was even that understanding that, look, I've lived life.
Right.
I'm in a completely different space than where you are, which is a part of the freedom that I'm providing for you to do everything that you want to do, because you are still growing, you are still aging, you're still going to make your mistakes and whatnot. Even providing levels of comfort within that, but you don't see stuff like that happening often, even when it comes to situations in that close of an age gap too. Like there's 4 years, but even like the mindset of an 18-year-old completely different from a 19-year-old,
so
which
different.
Completely different from 20, 21.
Yes, because
it's just
they just change. Sorry, like we all change so much, so fast. It like from like 18 to like 24. Like that range is just 6 years of constant change and learning and growth. And it's like, if you're like, in my opinion, if you're not dating someone else that's like living that change in the same way you are, it probably just won't work because you'll change to a version of yourself that either doesn't fit with them, or you'll stagnate yourself so that you do still fit with them, and that is bad too.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets me like, and so this past week there was a couple that was messaging me, and they're new to town, and I was like, hey, I don't want to fuck y'all, you're just not my type, but like we can be friends. And then I learned that they were 24 and 30, and they'd been married for 6 years. And I was like, I don't think I can be friends with y'all. This makes me very uncomfortable. I'm sorry. Because why were y'all dating when he was 18 and you were 24?
That's a fair thought process. Like for me,
Like it's weird now.
it is.
Because in my mind, that probably means that y'all were dating when they were like illegal, and you just got married when they were legal. And now I don't want to be a part of your law breaking weird shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that does seem very, very odd. But like, see, things like that, I like to probe and ask additional questions about
I don't give a
people.
fuck. It's over.
The reason the reason why is because one, yeah, that situation I try not to make other people's stories. Meaning I'm not going to just automatically assume that
Right.
they've been conversing prior to this person turning 18, but with that math, it seems as though it was a strong possibility,
Like,
which is lame and weird and
see, it's
very
fucking
creepy
lame.
behavior.
People need to say lame more.
I agree.
I
But
love lame.
like now let's say if these two individuals knew each other all their life,
That's
possibly,
to me, that's even
but
worse.
what, like family
because
friends?
because to me, if you've known them your entire life, why were you growing up interested? So like the younger you get, the worse age gaps get.
That's true.
And so if you grew up with them, that is even worse.
Because I will say there's been people like when I was younger,
Right, to
like
me.
in middle school and
Yeah.
whatnot, there were people who I really was like attracted to who was like older than me.
Yes.
And it was like a friend level. Now I cannot say that we're not in communication these days
Right.
at all, but if that person happened to have been bisexual in any kind of way or just gay, and we did continue communication after they graduated high school and stuff like that, I will see myself actually jumping into a relationship with that person if they
Sure.
happen to still be around.
Right.
So in that sense, I do get the age gap, but at the same time, it's like if they did not know each other beforehand, they did not grow up together. There's no way
Then
that family
then
was
that shit is
seeing
wild.
each other and stuff like that. I'm just like, okay, fam, this is creep.
It's creepy.
This is weirding me out.
Yeah, like so, like mom, like so. One of my best friends, I love this girl dearly. She started dating this guy when she was, I think, 20 or 21, and this guy was like 30.
Hmm.
And she dated this guy for like a year or two. They got married, and the entire time I was like, mama, he's a lame, he's creepy, because you've known this man since you were 13, which means you've never known him as anything but an adult. But they've known you as mostly a child, and yet they're still choosing to hate you. That shit is creepy to me. And
I
thank
agree.
God that they got divorced. And Vernon, I was singing joy to the world. I was so excited because this guy was lame as hell and creepy as a motherfucker. Because like as she became like more independent and like more confident, this guy was like, I don't like that and blah 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 blah. And and I find that it's not like it's not it's not it's not every time, but a lot of times, like when people date a lot, like date, like a lot of times when people date drastically younger, they tend to engage in like really weird power dynamics that
Yes.
make things even worse. And I think that is the true danger of different age dating relationships. If anyone is still like younger than 25,
I agree. And that's the
because then the older person will just have like more like 9 times out of 10, the older person will have like more cultural and social power, and that's what makes it. Oh,
I agree. Like I would say that's the main concern and danger when it does come to like big age gaps. And it's
I
knowing the persons who this is kind of going back into a little bit of the last episode with personhood,
mm,
knowing whether the person sees you as a person or an object. And I think with a lot of most definitely with the dominant narrative of dating between age gaps is because a person has the power. And I think
mm,
about with the concept of a sugar daddy, sugar mama, and all that, which means that the older person's only there to facilitate the financial well-being of this
right,
person, which means they have that financial power over the person. Or there's the other one where the person, it has the dominance, and meaning they have the control of the other person, and that can be
right,
with financial control, living control, or what other kinds of forms of control that they have in their power to control the actions of this younger person. That's the thing too. Uh, and I think that's like the huge problems that we face when it comes to those gaps.
right.
Now, this is not to say that there's not the possibility of an ethical dating between those age gaps, because it is possible, but it's just weeding
Mm.
out and knowing who you are engaging with, because there are some young people who do prefer the elderly,
Yeah,
which is,
I think
I'm like,
they
go
need
for it.
therapy, but for
Everyone
sure.
does. I agree.
That is, everybody needs Vernon. Everybody needs therapy just so badly,
Yes,
just so
and
badly.
I would say definitely those people who do prefer those age gaps, they need therapy too. Like if
Yeah,
it's something that they are
maybe a
happily,
bit more,
I'm
but
so done. Maybe it's something that they are happily engaging in with and wanting to do. If that is their position on it, I'm happy for you. Continue to do you and live your best life.
stand up.
Just,
Please stand
just,
up.
just make sure the person that you're engaging with is not one of these lames, not one of these
Yes.
weirdos out here who's trying to take advantage of you in your youth.
And it's so like I feel so feel so stupid sometimes that I wasted so much youth sleeping with old men. I feel so dumb sometimes that I like let them steal so much of my time
Hmm.
when I was so young and so in shape.
You're still in
And
good shape.
That's not the point.
Okay. I
Vernon,
get you. I get you. I understand.
I used to have abs and I was young. There were veins on my stomach.
Oh.
Veins, Vernon. And I was willingly and joyfully sleeping with men 2 and 3 times my age
Mm.
because it was like my comfort
Mm-hmm.
because I knew that older men liked me since I was like 15, right? Yeah, very creepy. But when you're young, you sometimes don't know it's creepy.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what's so dangerous. But when I was young, like no one told me it was weird because I didn't tell tell anyone. But like no one
Wow.
told me it was
Yeah,
weird.
I understand.
And certainly not the men I was with. I think there was like one guy when I was like 16 or 17, and he lived in France. And like we talked, blah, 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 blah. And we sexted for weeks. But like it got to a point where this guy was like, we have to stop because this is weird and it's wrong. And I'm so sorry that like no one's told you that before now. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's fine. And then they blocked me. And like that didn't sink
Mm.
in for years, because it was just safe to go for men that part of me knew I was like way too good looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And like that like that's not to sound prideful, but like it's just like a fact.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that old men would always want me. And so there was no risk to being wanted because I knew they would always want me.
Mm. That
And
makes sense.
yeah, yeah. And then when I switched to like men my own age, I had to like learn to get rejected because I had never really like been rejected sexually before because I like went for men that I knew would like me.
Mm-hmm.
But there is so much power and so much freedom in shooting your shot with people that might not like you back.
Mm. That's a nice statement. That's a powerful statement. And I will say, like it's great that I love dude from France who was just like, this is wrong. And like that, I
Right.
need that to be the standard. And
Right.
I say this because I've been hit on these little random ass apps that do not verify age, and it's very
Right.
fucking annoying that they do not do that. But I've been hit on by like a 16-year-old before, a 17-year
Ooh,
old.
I live that.
It's very creepy.
Yeah,
It's
it's very
extremely
creepy.
creepy. And when that happens, I'm like, hey, I get that you're out here in this space because you want to explore and you want to have fun. I even have this conversation with people that's 18 and 19 too.
Same,
Like
yeah.
you like definitely in like for the ones under the minors, you need
Right.
to
Get
engage with
off
people
this fucking
your
app.
age. Get off of this app. There are a lot of creeps who would actually take advantage of you, and
Yes,
they don't care about your safety. They don't care about your lived experience. There's a
they
lot of
don't.
things going on that you probably don't know about because we don't have adequate sex education here.
Right.
These people will ruin the trajectory of your life and not give up and
Forever.
down, all
Mhm.
because they can take advantage of you.
Mm.
Get off of this app. enjoy your youth and
Right.
find people in your age group. I understand it's hard
It's hard.
because you're young and we live in a society that does not embrace queer people at all. But look, you will have your time and your space to do whatever you want. If you want to go down the route of education, go to college. You'll get a lot of freedom that way.
Right. So much freedom.
So much, like
So
you can
much freedom.
hoe it up, but
Oh, wait,
you are too
up and
young.
down.
Exactly. You're too young to be in these spaces. And with the younger, like 18 and all this other stuff, like I had to have a conversation with a 21-year-old recently.
Mm.
Like, fam, you need to go get tested regularly. like
Yes.
you're asking and this is not somebody I hooked up with her. No,
Yeah.
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 But you're asking to have sex with me without
Mhm.
a condom and you don't know my name.
Wild.
You don't know much about me and you didn't ask me about my sexual history. You need to take your sexual health
You need to
seriously.
be, you need to stand up and be serious.
Yeah, like you do you not know that your age group right now is the ones that is statistically increasing in the amount of HIV cases?
Yeah, it's bad.
This is for the last few years
Yeah,
that
and like
20 to 23-year olds have just been increasing in terms of their HIV statuses.
yeah, and it's because young people were raised thinking that like only gay men get it. But now what they don't think about is that everyone's gay now.
So done.
And like everyone is constantly fucking everybody.
Mhm.
So like you have to be so safe and so sure and so secure. And so like I think I told this story before, but when I was like 18 or 19, there there was this guy I was friends with, and they were like 1 year younger than me, right? And we both like we were both slutting it up,
Mhm.
and they were just a little bit more outgoing than I was, and they got HIV at like age maybe 19 or 20.
Mm.
And I was like, oh shit, that could have been me. Like that really could have been me because like we live in the same town, we fuck the same men, and so like that
Mm.
could have been me, and it was so scary. And I played it pretty safe for years. Like I didn't have anal at all until like fall of 2021.
Mm.
And my first time I was very horny, and
The
the
drug.
guy was on prep, so I didn't use a condom. And then I fucked a few people with condoms, and then there was one guy who I didn't use one with, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like constantly getting tested, which was exhausting. And then there was this guy in like maybe like July or like August that was like I don't meet with guys if they're not on prep. And I'd like known for years like I should take it someday, but that was my motivation. And now I'm on prep, and the sex was in fact good.
Oh, look, that's good.
And so like I am so genuinely grateful to them for like pushing me to like take my own safety more seriously.
And I
Because
think,
I think, oh, sorry,
I don't know, what were you saying?
because I think that so many young people think like I'm young and like if the guys I'm with say they're clean, then I'm fine. But people can lie or they can just be wrong.
Exactly.
And
Like,
if they're wrong and now you're wrong, now you're both now you both look bald headed and confused.
exactly. Like I remember having a conversation with someone who was my age. This was back when I was 20 or so, 21.
Yep.
And they were telling me, "Oh, well, I have HIV." And I'm like me, I already was like, if you don't have a condom, fuck off.
Right.
But like I was a lot more serious and still am when it comes to like condom usage. But
Yes, I'm
he
very serious.
he told me like how he ended up getting it and all this other stuff and what was going on with the lies with his partner and all this
Oh
other stuff.
no.
And that's the thing that really hurt me the most is knowing how out of his own control his sexual health was. And
Yes.
a lot of young people don't think about that because they do put their trust in these other people. And
It's just
from
stupid.
in a way, yeah. Like in from that conversation, that taught me I'm not just going to go off of your word. Like
Right.
if like even for that with that conversation with the person with the wanting to fuck me without a condom and whatnot, I was
Mm-mm.
like, if you want to do something like that, because one, I only do that within relationships, but I'm open
Okay,
to
work
doing something like that, like
with a
with somebody
condom. Like,
when it comes to like what you'll need to do, because I like proof.
right.
One, you can always go to the local clinic, get on prep. I even
Yep.
told them the days that they have their prep consultations. I was like, on Wednesdays is by
Work.
appointment. You can call them tomorrow and set that up to figure out when you can go meet them. On top of that, I need physical copies or a digital copy of your test results for a full panel STI. If you want to
Work.
really have sex with me without a condom, you got to put in some work on that one because I need to
Yeah.
see that you were taking your sexual health seriously, found out like, oh, I'm negative for syphilis, I'm negative for chlamydia, I'm negative for a lot of things. And look, maybe in that after that happens, we can engage in unprotected
Maybe.
sex.
Maybe then.
Maybe. It depends on
Still a
my
maybe.
mood. Because at
Still a
the end of the day,
hot
we're
maybe.
still not dating. And
Exactly.
based off of your age, you're 21, you're not even in that age range, fam. So
Right. And I think think for me, like since I got on prep, I've been a little bit less like I've still been safe, but just less like concerned as much because I know I won't get won't get won't get something that's for life now.
well, technically
Well,
speaking,
probably won't.
there's still
Probably won't.
herpes out here as
Well,
well
I
as
mean,
watch it.
that's
Well,
not the
but
thing.
honestly, herpes is not that severe because look,
Exactly.
everybody got herpes out here, literally.
Exactly.
But
So,
my only thing is that people should always be cognizant of the other STIs,
yes.
especially syphilis, because that bitch will take you down and not
Yes.
give a damn.
And I really don't fuck like raw in general, like a common thing. Like, I just don't fuck a ton in general, uh, despite my many stories. Um, but yeah, but I think like it's made me a little bit looser, but still, I think it made me less strict with my rules, but more cognizant of like what I'm doing
Mhm.
and like who I'm doing it with. And I think I have gotten to a place where I kind of am like not really into like hookups anymore, and I want like a friend or like a boyfriend, maybe. I don't know. But there's this guy I'm talking to. I don't know. But I think, yeah, like I think I am a lot more conscious and safe now that I'm older. And I think it took me seeing those like sad stories to like really get it's non like get it's not safe, because I was talking with this one guy and they got HIV because their partner cheated and lied.
Mm.
And I was like, damn, you can't even trust your partner now. What am I supposed to do? Like, this is crazy. And I was like, okay, so truly my safety is in my hands. And I think that is what really has like changed my life and like changed my perspective on things. And I think it's made me a little bit less strict with the people I sleep with, but it's also made me more conscious of who I'm sleeping with.
Yeah.
But I also do tend to lean sometimes, like if it's like sex, I lean like older professional because they've got more to lose from not being safe.
I agree.
And so I know like they'll like, it's not like a fact, right? But they are more likely to also like take their safety and their health seriously. Like if they've got like a job, some dogs, a wife, I don't know, like those things that
a wife.
Yeah, like, and just those things that make people like more conscious of what they're doing. So would you sleep with someone, sorry, would you willingly and knowingly be the other woman?
Yes.
Fair.
I've been
Valid.
someone's other before, and I
Yeah,
actually
same. Yeah.
had a conversation, not with the partner, but I was like, look, you can let your wife know I'm around. I don't like, I'm of the mindset, like, I'd rather you be completely honest of what the fuck is
Right.
going on than lie. Like, it is what it
Fair.
is. Like, if they're upset with me, that's cool. But at the end of the day, they should be upset with you because I did not make this vow with nobody.
Oh,
So
exactly.
you
That
engaged
was
with
your
me,
choice.
you contacted me for this thing, and sometimes it's because I found out at the last minute that you're married. Half the time,
Right.
if someone's married, I'm not really trying to hook up with them because I don't want the
Okay.
drama. But a good
Fair.
bit of the time, like, horniness is a drug. If you get me
It's
on
a
the right day,
drug.
then look, if we hook up, we hook up. That's your business. I'm not trying to be in your marriage. You look, if y'all trying to do a throuple little thing, I might be open to that. We can have these conversations. Just let me know what's going on. But yeah, I would. So two things, because we really do need to close this episode out. But
Very, yeah, I'm sorry.
you're good. I will say, like, even for myself, because I'm on prep now,
Yeah.
and the only reason I even decided to get on prep is because of within the past year, someone has. I was a victim of stealthing twice, actually. So rather
Oh
than
no.
having to go through that mental turmoil of
Yeah.
thinking maybe they've given me something, blah, 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 I was like, I'd rather have this as protection. But also, this person has been reported to, like, the thing
Mm.
is, I'm not the one to fuck around with, most definitely because of what my research and my background is. Fuck around with those fuck arounds, you're definitely gonna get fucked up. That's it.
Right.
So there's that. But so that's one of the things that made me want to get on prep. And Like, I definitely recommend it for anybody who is
Yes, absolutely.
having sex.
Highly recommend.
Yeah, if you're not wearing any kind of protection,
Please get on prep.
get
Please get
prep,
on prep.
regardless
It's
of if
free,
you're with if you're doing it with someone who's queer or not. Be on prep. If you're
right?
heterosexual, be on prep. This
Right.
is a preventative thing. If you do, on top of that, make sure you are getting tested for the other STIs too.
Absolutely.
Like, you need to be tested. Test people. Test, test, test. Second thing, never have I ever. So,
Okay.
you ready? I want to do two in one.
Sure.
Never have I ever had someone take sexy photos of me, as well as
Okay.
never have I ever had sex more than 4 times a day.
So I've never done either one of those things. Because I'm a good Christian man. No, because I am not like a super like kinky person. Like I'm like very chill, like in bed because I'm so dramatic in my life. And so I love sex when we stick to the hits.
Mm.
Like, let's do the classics, right? And that is just me, right? And I have never had someone take sexy structure pictures of me. I, I don't think I've taken them of someone, and I've never had sex more than 4 times in a day. I think my most was 2, and that was a lot for me as a person. Oh wait, maybe 3, 2. I believe it might have been 3. So like I'm trying to think if it was. So I think this one time I spent the night with this guy, but it was like the morning, like when we did it. We fucked twice that morning, and then I went and I hooked up with another guy later that same day, I believe. So I think damn, I must have been one horny motherfucker. But I think my most in a day what was 3.
Hey, I love it for you. I would
I
say
don't.
I have not had sexy photos taken of me, but I do plan on doing that for my 30th birthday this year.
Okay.
So I will definitely be posting the photos online, meaning my Facebook, because y'all motherfuckers are going to see what the fuck is going on over here, as well as on some of these apps, just to have these motherfuckers thirsting for a little while, knowing that they're not going to get none of this because
Okay.
you got to level up. Now,
Level up, level up, level up, level up.
in
Oh, I'm
terms
so
of
yummy. Your
of
tummy
like
type.
if I've had more than 4, if you count that sex party, kind of, it was like just engagements with, like, I would say I bust like 5 nuts at that party. If you count that as one sexual experience, then no. Well, then there's that. But I did have like this one time me and this guy, we like, he slept over at my place. It was like after Thanksgiving, and we hooked up throughout the night. And
Right.
it was, if we count that, since it was like 2 hour blocks, then it was exactly 4 times. And I don't think I've
Okay.
had more than that in one day.
That's a
And
lot though.
it is, but it was fun. Like, it was like we hooked up, we got there, we had sex, ended up going to sleep. 2 hours later, we're back at it, go back to
Work.
sleep. I woke up, got back into it, went back to sleep, and then that morning, before we went our separate ways, we had sex, and it was
Okay.
great.
Yeah. So my time I spent the night, we like made out, but we didn't fuck that night. In the morning, we fucked twice. And then I went home. And on the drive back from Colombia,
Mhm.
I did have someone else suck me up. And that was fun, but that got I slept with twice. Vernon, that would need to be a story time on another day. That was to date my most insane and not traumatizing, but like I think to put it shortly, they seemed to be trying to find their gender during the hookup.
Interesting.
And it's a very long story, but it was, let me tell you, nothing short of jarring.
So
And a little bit traumatizing.
I feel like I need to go ahead and make a segment for that so we can
Yeah.
talk about this damn story because I'm
Vernon,
intrigued now.
It was a crazy story.
Look, okay, we'll put a pin in that.
Right.
But on that note, let's go ahead and say that this is the end of the episode. Definitely, and that's all good.
Fair.
So, first off, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. I appreciate you so motherfucking much. Love you. Any last words?
I love you too. Vernon, thank you so much. This was so much fun. I love when we get to chat and sit and talk and laugh and just tell funny stories. I love it. And I hope that your fans love it as much as I did.
I hope so. Y'all better give him all the love, y'all. Go ahead and rate this episode like 5 stars, bitches. Like, come on, do whatever you can. Share the love. Share with your friends. Let them join in on this damn conversation. But anyways, on that note, listeners, thank y'all so much for listening to the Holiloquy podcast, where we step out and speak on sexuality. Just in case no one else told you this today, you are beautiful, you are worthy of happiness and joy, you are enough and then some. You may not live up to the expectations of others, but that is okay. You are only required to walk in your own shoes. May each day you live lead you towards abundance. With that said, love you all and see you next episode. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Holiloquy podcast, where we step out and speak on sexuality. You can subscribe to the podcast through your favorite podcasting app and find us on the web at www.holiloquy.com. That's www.heauxliloquy.com. Share the podcast with your friends and join the conversation.